Peace and love. Today is day 17. Welcome back. Welcome back. Y'all know I love my lip gloss. This one was a gift from my beautiful bee, Miss B. All my best friends are over 60. How y'all feeling tonight? Did I say welcome back to day 17? Congratulations. You did it. Good, y'all. Good. How has your day been? Okay. Okay, well that sounds like you made it. And no matter when, you know, you decide to accept yourself fully, you're always there for yourself. Just keep digging in. I'm gonna take a minute to say thank you. I really appreciate you coming back and continuing to do the work to keep yourself engaged, to dig a little deeper, to see what's there, to not write off the idea that your transformation is too far away and that you're actually choosing to do something about it now just by being here, right? And thank you for offering yourself and me and everyone else around us a different perspective of how we can tap in and really get to know ourselves through our triggers. I just think it's a lot of fun to do it that way. Yes, honey, it is time to get my locks retwisted, but because everything's been moving so fast, I have not taken the time to contact my Mika. If y'all know anything about Fayetteville, North Carolina, y'all know something about Murchison Road and Langdon Road and Fayetteville State University. And that's where my Mika's located. So y'all see me, trust me, y'all ain't gonna have to guess when I've gotten in contact with my girl. I'm getting ready to travel tomorrow. And so just like in my own mind, right, I'm going to say the classroom is going to change. I may come in just a little bit earlier. I know I keep messing with my hair, y'all, now because I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go make it. But I may come in a little earlier because I'm going to be in DC. And we are going to see some family and yeah, so Isaiah's going to get to see his college, and then we're going to head back this way. So it's going to look a little different for a few days, which I'm excited about, right? We get something to go back and look on in the future to see what was going on. So I'm excited about that. That's how I thought about it anyway. And of course, it'll be you and me during that time anyway, because I'm committed to the process. 90 days, I don't care where I'm at, right? That's the best part about creating my life the way that it is that I get to say, like, I don't have to call out to work. I take my work with me. It's 2 a.m. Everyone's quiet now. I've had a full day. Let me just say I woke up with a headache behind my eyes. And so I took something and went back to bed. And then by that time, I got up and Isaiah's ready for breakfast. My mom's ready to go out for a little bit. I still have clothes to wash, floors to mop, things to do. And so, I've been planning this in my head all day, coming in here talking to you all. And so I had girlfriends that stopped by to say hi and bye to Isaiah. My godson came over. And you'll hear me talk about these people all the time. And his mom, and they actually not too long ago left after 1 a.m. So naturally, I had to come to work because I said I was coming to work, right? And so that's why I know that I love what I do, because I would go to bed in a heartbeat. Shabbat. So I'm grateful to be here. I am really, really grateful to be here. And yeah, I think we're caught up. I think that's really what's going on right now. What about yesterday? Okay, yesterday we talked about shrinking for peace. And I have my notes over here, so I don't mess something up. Yesterday we talked about shrinking for peace. And I gave you 5 ways to know that you are shrinking for peace. You remember? Oh, you know what? I think I got my notebook back here. Yes. 5 ways to know that you're shrinking for peace. You remember your automatic shutdowns, your automatic agreements, the voice change. Oh. Not speaking up when you have something to say. That is going to be a whole training today. And number 5, choosing confusion. I didn't know. I'm not sure about that. Remember I said that was like my trigger. Like, stop. We don't have to do that. Well, today is going to be more of that conversation, but we're going to target silence training. We're going to drop right into number 4, not speaking up when you have something to say. Okay? And our task for today, I like to give these out at the beginning in case you don't make it to the end. And if you don't make it to the end, that's fine, because your task is notice one truth that you did not speak. Day 17 task. Notice one truth that you did not speak. All right. Dip into that for a minute. The silence training. How do we use silence effectively? How were we trained to use silence? Was silence a kill switch? Is silence a way of control or manipulation? Or do you utilize your silence to support your situation? Right? Silence is met with communication. And I'm going to get really, really a little personal and deep into this. Silence is met with communication. Now, I say this as being twofold, okay? Because you can pull back on your communication with someone in order to formulate clarity, in order to sort of clear the field, especially if things have gotten heated, if things have been non-digestible for a while within the conversation, if things have, and most conversations are multi-layered, right? They're not just what we're talking about anymore. We're talking about things that haven't happened. We're thinking about things that have happened. We're thinking about things that we want to happen. Like, a conversation is a dance. Silence is the same if we're using it in a way that we want to produce and transform, if you will, the entire conversation. Okay, let me find a charger, because apparently Maybe this has been off the charger for some time. Here, let's do it like this. Look. Pardon me, y'all. Okay. I didn't hear it go off. Okay, so maybe it won't, but and comma. So if we are really intentional about the use of silence, it can help. If we are not so intentional about the use of silence, it can hurt. Silence can be used as a weapon. And that's where we start to lose control of ourselves, when we are utilizing silence as a weapon, not as an opening to keep things clear. Okay? So if there's something that you have a trigger regarding, right? So let's think of a trigger that could come up. Maybe you're triggered because someone didn't hold the door for you. Right? You're carrying things and you get to the door and they just let it go. Right? Now, one reaction, one response to that is, hold the door. Get their attention, let them know that you're coming, although they may see you. You're making an outward request. Now, I'm assuming that the request does not go unanswered. Like, oh, my bad. Dang, hold the door for you, child. Now, there's an alternative, of course. There's always an alternative. They didn't hold the door. Double trigger. Because now, not only did you not hold the door, but now you don't listen to me. So, this time I'm not going to say nothing else to you because, well, that's one, I might cuss you out. Or because you weren't listening to me anyway, so I'm not going to say a word. And I never address it. How does that serve? How does that lead me closer to who it is that I'm being? My way of being does not stand. That's not a standard. Let me say it that way. That's not a standard for my way of being, not to address something that casually bothers me, severely bothers me. Right? Because now it's like a curiosity. So when I say address something, or when I say speak up to someone about something, it's not the attack. It's not the read. There's plenty of time and space for reads, trust me. But in general conversation, in general reactions, in general relationships, we're really wanting to have a cordial, right? That's for lack of a better term, that's where my meters go. I'm cordial. So I'm gonna get curious, like, hey, I asked you to hold the door earlier and you just let it go. What was going on? What happened? That seems strange to me. Was everything okay? Oh, you were in a hurry. Oh, okay. Well, you could have said something, like just holler at me. Or, you let the door go on me earlier. We all right? I didn't know you was talking to me. Yeah, I was carrying a big box. I needed help. You might not have saw me, but you saw the box. Well, I didn't know it was you. Well, hold the door for anybody that has a big ass box in their hand. It doesn't have to be overly addressed, but you should absolutely bring it to a person's attention when they're awareness is not at the level that they desire to. Now, again, remember, I'm always talking about leader to leader interactions. These can be interactions with your children, these can be interactions with your spouse, these can be interactions with the teachers, this could be interactions with people at work, this could be interactions with a lot of different leaders, you to another leader. So that's why the standard of thinking is so high. I'm not talking to anyone that does not understand who they are. I understand that if you are holding a position where people depend on you to get something done, be it feed them, clothe them, house them, pay them, employ them, work with them, support them, those are leadership positions. Let me back up. These are leadership roles. I keep saying the word position, but that's not what I mean. Not as in this is what I do. This is who I am. So the role that you're playing in each other's lives is that. So if we're not taking a moment to check our silence, then we are doing ourselves and the other leaders a disservice. Communication is one of the broadest, most underused tools that we have that can magnify what it is that we are actually working towards. If we're not using our words, if we don't have anything to go on, any feedback, right? And we think that we're doing everything top notch, and there's people suffering under your heaviness, if you will, because of the lack of communication, because you're using silence to control and manipulate, or you're using silence as a weapon, then that is going to look different than if the silence is used as a tool. The energy around it is going to be different. Okay? So when you don't speak your truth and you utilize silence in a way that doesn't serve, think back to when that became okay. You all know I was going back there. What is that reality that you hold? What did you land on when someone that you wanted a explanation from, or what happened when you didn't get that? And how did you start to utilize silence in a way that beget that same reaction, but not from you, because now you're delivering that because you learned it somewhere else, but you remember how it felt when silence was used with you instead of having a conversation. Mm-hmm. Sit with that. Sit with that. This is the trigger. And if you are in a situation where someone is using silence against you, you be the one to speak up because you are the leader. Okay? This goes both ways. This is not a one-way street. Triggers, I'm not expressing triggers from one vantage point. Triggers look like light beams. Something happens, and if you can imagine, a lightsaber pops on and that beam of light shines and brightens up that dark space, no matter how long it stays lit. And it's dangerous. You can wield those triggers. This is really an opportunity to no longer wield your triggers, but to become so understanding and aware of how you react in situations, and to decide, is that really how I'm showing up? Is that what I really want? Is this how I want my children to understand communication and relationships and building? Is this how, is this my family lineage? We always talk about building a lineage, but what does it look like? If the wheels and the brakes and pistons has fallen off of it, then what lineage is it that what are we doing? What are we doing? I hope all of those things really come together in a way that resonates and opens up a new conversation within you. Okay? It's not for anything. It's not for anything. It's not for anything. I hope you understand that. It's not for anything. It's for you. It's for you. Nothing's wrong with you, right? This is refinement. This is self-mastery. This isn't to point out our flaws. This is to understand who we are from the inside out. That brings me to asking you all, have you ever had an Enneagram? I don't know. I think I've said that before. I'm going to see about it again. Got to get in touch with Justin Moore. Dr. Moore, I need your help because I want everyone to have access to the Enneagram. The Enneagram will give us an idea, a beautiful idea about who we are. It's a test or of such. I learned to use this test with this book, Bringing Out the Best in Everyone You Coach, by, is that Ginger? Yeah, Ginger Lapid Bogda, PhD. And I did the Enneagram on myself. Child, when I tell you, I was, who are you talking to? Deeply disturbed. It changed my life. It really, really changed my life and how I saw myself and understood my patterns more so than I ever had. Self-mastery. So that silence thing, it could very well show up on your Enneagram. If that's something that you do when you are, I call it in your lower state. I don't remember what Dr. Both called it, but I was trying to see if I have it. But let me give you an example. So when you take the test, you receive numbers, right? And the numbers are really based on the beliefs, patterns, and behaviors of the certain identity type. So this takes us into up to, I think, the number 9, right? And so you have a moderate self-mastery if you're a number 9, or a high self-mastery is the fully conscious individual. The moderate self-mastery is the harmonizer, and the low self-mastery is the sleeper. So those would, if you were characterized as a number 9 on the Enneagram, number 9 being, let's see, nine seeks peace, harmony, and positive mutual regard, and dislikes conflict, tension, and ill will, right? So that will be something that you learned about yourself. And guess who's a 9? Me. And so my emotional patterns would be, if I experience low to medium intensity feelings, but present and steady, I'm even-tempered, have an even-tempered demeanor. Keep anger at such a subliminal level that I'm often not even aware of the feeling of it, and it's true. I didn't even know until this past year that I was having anger or where my anger showed up. I'm so like, do, gotta go. You know, my core beliefs is that we all should just get along. Life would be so much more peaceful. I think this is why I do what I do, right? Would it make sense? Would it make sense? What's important is for people to listen to one another, treat each other with respect, and live and let live. Is that not what I'm here teaching? Before making a decision, it's best to consider all perspectives and get everyone's input. Communication. So this is just who I am, y'all. You have to take this test, okay? And get some clarity around what it is that you're up to and why the heck you're doing it. So I'm going to see if I can get in touch with Dr. Moore. I took the course, this was a course that he taught. And I'm going to see if he'll help me get the link for you all to use to take the test. Now, I think the test is maybe $25. You don't pay it to me, you pay it to the company that does the test. But if that's something that you're interested in, let's go do that. And then you can come back and we can break it down together. I learned how to analyze the test. I learned how to break them down. I know I can even build you a report about what you're reading. So if that's something that you're interested in, it's something that you need, by all means, once I get the information, I will put it in the description box in this video. I'll go ahead and email Dr. Moore and see if he can support us in that. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to see you next time, and it's going to be on the road. Trigger to Transform on the road. How about that? And look at us moving along. And I'm going to also have plenty more footage. I just don't, I'm learning. I'm learning how to utilize it in this space. But it's been wonderful. Thank you for staying. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for coming and hearing and doing and being a part of the conversation of using your triggers to transform your life, to evolve, to master yourself, to find out deeply who you are and what you're up to and who you're impacting and how you're impacting them and how you're showing up and leading yourself and how that impacts the others that you're leading, because that doesn't come first. You leading you comes first. All right. I'm Goddess Shatoya. I'll be back. And I want you to be well. Get plenty of rest. And don't forget to notice one truth you didn't speak. Write that one down. And when you do write it down, come back tomorrow so we can talk about it. All right. Be well, y'all.